it's great. So knowing that they're actually doing things and following some sort of even if it's not super strict, some sort of a curriculum, and that she's learning things, and visually seeing what is it that she's doing, and it's my favorite thing.
I'm Glenn Herbert, and I'm an editor with Our Kids. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading private schools to gain insights into their programs, culture, traditions, and leadership. This includes insights from parents, alumni, and administrators. This is the Our Kids Insider Perspective.
I started looking for a daycare for Celia, our daughter, since I was pregnant, because I knew that as soon as I came back from maternity leave, I wanted it for her to start daycare. I really like my job, and this motherhood thing was brand new for me, and I heard that it was really hard to find a daycare. So I started putting her name and my name throughout our area, in family and small daycares, and also the big centers. CEFA was always kind of brought up to me by friends who already had children, saying this is a great place, but don't get your hopes up. It's usually a big wait list, and they may call you eventually. But I still put my name and our name down. Started looking around, but the best thing that or the thing that drew me to it was knowing that other moms in the area had either put their children there or had tried to put their children there. So the first about 8 months, 6 to 8 months, Celia was in a family daycare. I actually chose it because the woman that was in charge of it was Hispanic, just like me. So for me, it was very important for my daughter to continue learning Spanish as a first language. Unfortunately, it was not a very good fit for us and our family. Celia was a little bit delayed, or is a little bit delayed in a few of her milestones, including speaking and speech. So when I decided to bring her out of a very small environment, very few children, and start to look at bigger schools, and by coincidence, right after the first close down of COVID, CEFA actually called me and tell me that there was a spot for her. I got really excited because first of all, I knew that she was very social and she wanted it to be with more children. We don't have a lot of family and friends around, so having a better and bigger group environment was very exciting for me. But what we saw when she started going there and socializing with more children and socializing with more adults instead of just one person in a small environment in a home was pretty great. She started saying better words. She was a lot more social. She started doing things that I didn't teach her. So for the first time, I saw that what she learned in daycare was a lot better than what I was able to teach her at home or even show her at home. Like, I have no education or background in child development, but we saw many great surprises. Her speaking more, saying more words, being more social, pointing around. And this is, a year ago, so she was a little bit over 1. So there was no big things for, saying or expressing, but a change in her behavior right away, being a lot more alert. It was really great to see her kind of, developing so much faster than what she used to be when she was in a smaller home environment. I think the children, like, she talks about her friends all the time. So having more children her own age. Before, she was the youngest one in a group of 4, which were all more like a toddler age, and she was the youngest one. So she now gets to, socialize with her friends. But the second thing is, I think one special teacher that she really likes, Ms. Rie, she's no longer in her group. She just transferred to another group, and I'm sure that she's going to love the new teacher as much. But she talks to about Ms. Rie to everybody, so she really likes the teacher. The amount of things that I see that they do with her. So all of the things that they send home with her, all the activities that I see that they do together, all the arts and crafts, all of the songs that, like, sometimes they will play in the TV, and I didn't teach her. So I know that they're teaching them to her there, it's great. So knowing that they're actually doing things and following some sort of a, even if it's not super strict, some sort of a curriculum, and that she's learning things, and visually seeing what is it that she's doing, and it's my favorite thing. Another thing that I like and that I miss very much, and I hope that after the summer break it will come back, is that they had this app that they will kind of report to us what she did during the day. So they would look her in the morning, and then they will tell me about potty training, either if she did sit in the potty or not, if her diaper was dry or not, and then even what she ate, and then some pictures of what she did during the day. I know that because of her transferring to JK two, there's a lot more children and less teachers, so there's a little bit of an adjustment in the quantity that they send. But that was, and it still is, one of my favorite things of the school, being a lot more aware of what's happening to her during the day. It's really great, and I hope it comes back. I guess not as much as JK1, but a little bit more after the summer break is finished and they transition to their real, I guess, classroom for 2021, 2022. Our first year with CEFA, the app of communicating with the parents was really thorough and very complete. I more or less knew everything about her day, how much she's slept from what time to what time, if the potty training and the pooping and peeing situation was really complete, even what she ate. And now all of that seems to be either shifting or disappearing, which was a big disappointment for me and some of my friends who also have children at the same location. So bringing that back would be something that I would like very much, because it was one of the best things that I, as a parent, liked about this location at CEFA. So I hope that they bring it back, or at least they bring some of it back. Another thing is that I've never physically been in there. I know it's because of COVID that they didn't allow us to come in there, but maybe planning a day or an afternoon or even on a weekend day where parents would be able to come and see the inside would be very cool, because, you know, it's not going to change much, but at least out of curiosity, I would love to see where my child spends most of her life. I didn't think that it was going to, again, the communication piece, I didn't think that it was going to be as good. I was coming again from a family daycare, family-owned daycare, meaning that they would, you know, I'll drop her in the morning and then in the afternoon I'll come and take her, and then they will more or less tell me how was her day. But whenever I came to CEFA and they started, you know, sending me pictures and all of that, like regularly, that was a very good fun surprise. And everything else that comes to the big, I guess a bit school, knowing what she's doing in advance, because they kind of share what's happening in the next months, what type of songs and what type of things they're going to be learning. So that communication piece was a very great surprise for us. Even though there's a big number of children and many teachers and different classrooms, so there's volume. They seem to very much cater to each one of the children. Like and I'm comparing my experience and our experience with Celia with some of our friends who also have a child, and they're close friends of ours that eventually put her children there. It's that they seem to be yes, they have a structure, and yes, they have things to do every day that are in the schedule, but they seem to cater towards that specific child and what they need and how they are and their personality and their specific needs and desires. So that I think that's fantastic, that they're able to, even though they're big and they have the advantages of being big and having many children and many teachers for our children to like play with and be with, they're also able to kind of cater towards that individuality of each child. And I really enjoy that. they've been seeing many things that I haven't been able to even see in her development. Whenever we have met with them in a one-on-one for that parent-teacher meeting, they bring up things that I hadn't even noticed, and then they bring it up, and in her development, what she's able and still not able to do, what their plan is. So curriculum wise, it's fun to see what is it that where she was and where she is now, or where she is now and where they think that she's going to be for many of this developmental and achievements or milestones. It's very clear, very easy to understand. They're very welcoming and very kind, so it doesn't, like, they don't make it look very hard to understand. It's pretty great to follow what is it that they want. So what's the steps that they're taking right now to get towards where they want to be, and also understanding and sharing with us the fact that, yes, that's the curriculum and that's what they are striving to do, but that it's not necessarily important that every child follows and achieves those goals. So that balance in between a strict curriculum, but also knowing that they're just children and they're there to learn in their own pace, is really great, because they did a very good job at letting us know that and understand that it's great that they have structure and that it works and their system works really well. The children like it and they embrace it really well, but also that it's just a guide, and every child will go at its own pace, especially for parents like us and for a child like Celia, knowing that she had some delays in certain of her milestones, knowing that she doesn't have to specifically follow certain things, that those are guides and they're there for structure, but that it's okay if they follow at their own step. So they were really great. We're very big fans of Ms. Lily and Ms. Rie from JK1A, I think. She really I think she has very few words still, like she's still very little. And again, because of the whole, we speak different languages at home. Her words are not the best, but what I can see her talking to other people about, they prepared a very big package for Father's Day for my husband. And since I'm a lot more involved with her, and it's mostly me, but again, I spend maternity leave with her, and her dad, it's very present in her life, but still it's kind of like the second parent. Whenever she was able to prepare something for him, so they did the socks and they did a little plant. Actually have it here with a little pot that she shows it to everybody. So all of those arts and crafts that they will bring home, she's very proud of. But the little package that they did for Father's Day recently, well, a couple of months ago, she was so happy about it, and she was showing it to everybody and, saying Daddy's Day and all that stuff. So I think that the arts and crafts that they're able to bring home for not just show off of what they did, but like for a purpose, like Father's Day, she really enjoys showing off what she did. And I know that she didn't do all of them, like I know her ability, but she's very happy about them. Both of us are both parents working full time, so we need support and reliable support Monday to Friday from around 8 to around 4:30 or so. We need to make sure that they're happy and that they're well taken care of while we go and do our jobs. So I can say that we're both full-time working parents, both of us, mom and dad. So we will need somebody to take care of our children for unfortunately for us while we go and work. So that's the thing that we have in common. It seems to be like everybody's from around here, so from around the neighborhood. There's not a lot of them that I can see or hear that they come from far away. It makes me think that we may be from different like ethnical and racial backgrounds, but we seem to all have a lot of things in common, and a lot of them it's needing somebody that's reliable and that we trust for taking care of our children well, and something that is local. So a lot of these parents come from around this neighborhood or from around the lower side of the city. and they all seem to be very happy and proud of their children going to CEFA. That's, I guess, the common thing that I can see whenever chatting with other parents in the parking lot, whenever they're coming to pick up their children, is how happy they are and how surprised they are of, the changes that their children have shown when they started CEFA. So everybody seems to be very happy and excited to be there. I have rarely heard anything kind of negative about the school or about what's happening with their children's lives. So it's good to see that it's not only me that have that it's so happy about my experience with CEFA. One of them, it would be that communication piece, like that they're so thorough and complete with telling you what's happening with your child's life and every day. I hope that it comes back right after the summer break, meaning that they had from morning until the evening, whenever they spend a whole day there, they will let you know what's happening with them. So that was really important and really good for me. The structure, like we're a couple and a family that doesn't have a lot of routines and structure in our lives, but knowing that children like that, and children like to follow kind of certain things and sit down at certain places and doing things with specific schedules and curriculum, that structure is good and it's important. I've seen my child teaching me how to be more structured. So that curriculum and structure and schedules that they follow, it just works. You see it, her being a lot more secure and feeling safe whenever she follows these rules and structures. So I like that. I like that is not just, she comes, she plays, and then eventually we feed her. Like, she knows what's going to happen every day with the schedules and with these routines. So I think that it's really good for her, and I really enjoyed that as well. So I guess the communication, the that structure and that curriculum of very specific schedules and things to do. And third, I like the size of it. I like that she's in a bigger center with more standards and more so I wish that I would have bothered them more about space for Celia. I just basically put her name down for a wait list, and that's it, and waited for them to eventually call me. But whenever COVID hit and we were stuck at home, I had to take care of her for a couple of months because the home daycare she was closed. When I called CEFA and I actually say, hey, I'm in the wait list for this amount of time, I think it was like a year and a half or so, do you have space for her? And so checking in with them, because I know that there's wait lists and I know that there's the structure that they have to follow, but checking in with them, they were very kind. They were not bothered at all with me checking in with them, and they had a space for her that maybe if I had not called and checked with an actual human, most probably she would have been back in the wait list eventually, and then eventually somebody would have called me. So checking in with them, they're very approachable, they're very kind, they're very human. Manfred, who's the I guess principal or school manager, is very approachable. She's very candid and easy to work with. So when I spoke to her the first time and I explained to her what was happening, she made it work, and she made it work for what we needed it, and that's how we started. But also when I call her about our friends who needed it at space at a specific time of the year, which was not the beginning of the year, and they had a child, she was able to go and see if they had space, and it was a very happy surprise that they did. And even though she had not been in the wait list before, they didn't have anybody else in that wait list for that time at that age, and it worked. And they kind of started whenever they needed it to start, which was again a very happy surprise for both of us. So maybe not relying on the system as much, knowing that even though it's a big school, part of a bigger brand like CEFA, they still treat you and treat their systems in a very humane way. So checking in with them if you're in a wait list and you hope to start sooner than what they told you that the start date may be, just checking in with them every once in a while to see how that's going, and kind of like being around, because they are maybe able to have somebody canceling or a child that left or something like that. So I think checking in with them will be something that I would advise.
For more information about this school, you can visit their profile at ourkids.net.